Chosen ones, God is speaking directly to you right now with an urgency that cannot be ignored. His voice is calling you out of the ordinary, pulling you toward a destiny so powerful it will shake the foundations of your life. This moment, this very second, is not random. You were meant to hear this message, to feel the weight of His words pressing on your spirit. Something extraordinary is unfolding, and it's time for you to listen closely, because the Creator of the universe has a purpose for you that's bigger than anything you've ever imagined. Your life has never been about blending in. You've always felt different, like you were born for something more. That's because you are. God has marked you as His own, a vessel for His divine plan. Right now, He's whispering truths into your heart, truths that will change how you see yourself and the world around you. His voice isn't distant or vague, it's clear, direct, and filled with a fire that burns away doubt. You're not here by chance. You're here because God is ready to move in your life in ways that will leave you in awe. This message is your signal. It's the moment where everything starts to shift. God's words are like a key, unlocking doors you didn't even know were there. You've been waiting, maybe even wondering when your time would come. That time is now. His urgency is a call to action, a reminder that you're not meant to stay still. You're meant to rise, to step into the light He's prepared for you. So pause for a second. Feel the weight of this moment and let His voice sink deep into your soul. You're ready for what's next. If this is resonating with you, if you feel God's voice stirring something inside, take a stand. Comment 777 below as a declaration that you're ready to receive His message. That number carries the power of divine completion, a sign that you're aligning with His perfect plan. Don't just watch, act. Hit that like button and subscribe to join thousands of chosen ones walking this path together. Your engagement amplifies this message, sending it to others who need to hear it. God's voice isn't just speaking, it's commanding attention. He's not asking you to wait for permission or to doubt your worth. He's telling you that you're chosen for a reason. Think about the moments in your life when you felt His presence, even in the smallest ways. Maybe it was a quiet reassurance during a dark time, or a sudden clarity when everything seemed lost. Those weren't accidents. They were God's voice, guiding you, preparing you for this very season where His plan is coming into focus. You've faced trials that would have broken others. You've walked through valleys where the shadows felt endless. Yet here you are, still standing, still shining. That's not luck. That's God's hand on your life, shaping you into someone unstoppable. His urgency today is a reminder that those struggles were not your end. They were your training ground. Every tear, every doubt, every moment you thought you couldn't go on was building you into the person who can carry His divine purpose. Right now, God is peeling back the layers of fear and hesitation that have held you back. His voice is clear. You are enough. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. The world may try to define you by your past, your mistakes, or what you lack. But God sees you as His masterpiece, created for greatness. His words are a fire in your bones, urging you to step boldly into the life He's designed for you. You're not just surviving, you're being called to thrive. Comment 777 again if you feel this truth sinking in. Let it be your way of saying, God, I hear you. I'm ready. His voice is urgent because your time is now. The opportunities He's preparing for you are already in motion. Doors are opening, connections are forming, and blessings are being released. You don't have to chase them, they're coming to you, because God has already spoken them into existence. Picture this, a life where you're not weighed down by worry or scarcity. A life where your purpose is clear, your heart is at peace, and your steps are guided by divine clarity. That's what God is speaking over you right now. He's not promising a life without challenges, but He's promising a life where no challenge can stop you. His voice is your anchor, your compass, your strength. When you align with it, nothing can stand in your way. You might be wondering, why me? Why now? The answer is simple. Because God chose you before you were born. Jeremiah 1-5 says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." You're not an afterthought. You're a divine appointment. His urgency is because the world needs you to step into your calling now. The light you carry, the gifts you possess, they're not just for you. They're for others who are waiting for the hope you'll bring. Your presence changes things. Have you noticed how people respond to you differently? How your words, your energy, even your silence carries weight? That's God's voice working through you. You're not just a person. You're a conduit for His power. When you walk into a room, you shift the atmosphere. When you speak, you spark something in others. This is why God's message is urgent, because your purpose is tied to a bigger plan, one that impacts lives far beyond your own. If you're feeling this, if you sense God's urgency stirring your spirit, comment 777 one more time. Let it be your commitment to walk in His truth. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to join the thousands of chosen ones who are stepping into their divine destiny. Your support keeps this message alive, reaching those who need it most. God's voice isn't just about what He's saying, it's about what He's doing. Right now, He's moving mountains in your life. Things that seemed impossible are becoming possible. Relationships that were broken are being restored. Dreams you thought were dead are coming back to life. His urgency is a signal that the season of waiting is over. You're stepping into a new chapter where His promises are no longer distant. They're here, now, ready for you to claim. Think of Moses standing before the burning bush. God's voice came to him, not as a suggestion, but as a command. "I have seen the misery of my people," God said, "and I am sending you." Exodus 3-7-10. Moses didn't feel ready. He doubted himself. But God's urgency didn't waver. He equipped Moses with everything he needed to fulfill his purpose. And right now, God is equipping you. His voice is your strength, your guide, your assurance that you're not alone. You might feel like you're not ready either. Maybe you're thinking, "I've got too many flaws, too many doubts." But God doesn't choose the perfect. He chooses the willing. His voice is speaking to your potential, not your past. He's calling out the person you're becoming, not the person you were. Every step you take in faith, every moment you choose to listen, brings you closer to the version of yourself He's always seen. This urgency isn't about rushing you, it's about awakening you. God is saying, now is the time to move. Now is the time to trust. You've been preparing for this moment your whole life, even when you didn't realize it. Every challenge, every victory, every quiet moment of prayer has been leading you here. His voice is clear. You're not meant to stay small. You're meant to rise, to shine, to walk in the fullness of His plan. Comment 777 one last time if you're ready to say yes to God's call. Let it be your way of standing firm, of declaring that you're all in. His urgency is your invitation to a life of purpose, abundance, and unshakable peace. You don't have to figure it all out, just listen. Trust. Step forward. God's voice is leading you, and where He leads, miracles follow. Imagine the clarity that comes when you fully align with his voice. It's like a fog lifting, revealing a path you didn't see before. You start noticing signs, small confirmations that you're on the right track. A conversation that sparks an idea, an opportunity that feels too perfect to be random. These are God's fingerprints, proof that he's speaking directly to you, guiding your every step. You've probably had moments where you felt his presence so strongly, it gave you chills. Maybe it was a song that hit you at the right time, or a stranger's words that felt like they were meant just for you. Those are God's whispers, his way of saying, I'm here, I see you. Right now, his voice is louder, more urgent, because he's ready to take you to a new level. He's calling you to trust him like never before. This isn't about religion or rules. It's about relationship. God's voice is personal, tailored to you. He knows your fears, your dreams, your deepest desires. When he speaks, it's not a generic message for the masses, it's a love letter written to your soul. You're not just another person in the crowd. You're his chosen one, handpicked for a purpose that only you can fulfill. Look at David, a shepherd boy who became a king. When God spoke to him, it wasn't because he was the strongest or the most experienced. It was because God saw his heart. 1 Samuel 16-7. God's voice called David to face giants, to lead nations, to write psalms that still echo today. And right now, God is calling you to face your giants, to step into your own story of victory. You might be thinking, what if I miss his voice? What if I get it wrong? But God's voice is patient. He'll keep speaking until you hear him. He's not a God of confusion, but of peace. 1 Corinthians 14:33. If you're seeking him, if you're open to his guidance, you won't miss it. His urgency isn't about pressure, it's about promise. He's eager to see you walk in the fullness of what he's prepared. Your life is a canvas, and God is the artist. Every stroke, every color, every detail is intentional. Right now, he's painting something new, something bold, vibrant, and breathtaking. His voice is guiding the brush, shaping your story into something that will inspire others. You're not just living for yourself. Your journey, your faith, your obedience to his call, it's a testimony that will light the way for others. Think about the ripple effect of your yes to God. When you listen to his voice, when you step out in faith, you're not just changing your life, you're changing the lives of those around you. Your courage inspires others to be brave. Your trust in God shows others they can trust him too. His urgency is about more than just you, it's about the impact you're destined to have. You've probably felt moments of doubt, wondering if you're truly chosen. But let this sink in. God doesn't make mistakes. If he's speaking to you with urgency, it's because he trusts you with his plan. You're not too broken, too young, too old, or too anything. You're exactly who he needs. Right where you are, right now. His voice is like a river, flowing with purpose, carrying you toward a future filled with hope. Jeremiah 29:11 says, I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. That's not a vague promise, it's a guarantee. God's urgency is his way of saying, I'm ready to make this real for you. Are you ready to receive it? You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to see the whole path. All God asks is that you listen and take the next step. His voice is your guide, clearer than any map, stronger than any storm. When you follow it, you're not walking blindly, you're walking in divine alignment, where every step is ordered by his hand. Consider Esther, a woman who wasn't looking for greatness, but was called to it. God's voice came through Mordecai, urging her to act, for such a time as this. Esther 4:14. She didn't feel ready, but she listened. And because she did, she saved her people. God's urgency in your life is your such a time as this moment. He's calling you to act, to trust, to move forward in faith. This message is your burning bush, your parting of the Red Sea, your call to the throne. God's voice is speaking with urgency because he sees what's coming: blessings, opportunities, transformations that will redefine your life. He's not asking you to be perfect. He's asking you to be present, to hear him, to say yes to the journey he's laid out for you. Your heart might be racing right now, feeling the weight of his call. That's not fear, that's excitement. It's the stirring of a purpose that's been inside you all along. God's voice is awakening it, bringing it to life. You're not just hearing words, you're receiving a divine mandate, a commission to step into the fullness of who you were created to be. Every time you've felt out of place, every time you've wondered why your path is different, it's because God has set you apart. His voice is urgent because the world needs you now. Your gifts, your light, your unique way of showing up, they're part of his plan to bring hope, healing, and change to those around you. You're not alone in this. God's voice isn't just speaking to you, it's speaking through you. When you embrace his call, you become a vessel for his power. Your words carry weight. Your actions spark change. Your faith moves mountains. That's why he's speaking with urgency, because your time to shine is now. Think of the disciples, ordinary men who heard Jesus' voice and left everything to follow him. They didn't have it all figured out. They had doubts, fears, flaws, but they listened, and because they did, they changed the world. God's voice is calling you to do the same, not to be perfect, but to be faithful, to trust him, to let his power work through you. His urgency is a gift. It's a reminder that you're not forgotten, not overlooked. God sees you. He knows your name, your struggles, your dreams, and right now, he's speaking directly to you, urging you to step into the life he's prepared. Don't let doubt hold you back. Don't let fear silence his voice. You're ready, because he says you are. This is your moment, chosen one. God's voice is clear, his call is urgent, and his plan is unstoppable. Listen, trust, move. The gates of heaven are opening, and your name is written on them. Let his words guide you, and watch as your life becomes a living testimony to his power and love. God's voice is a flame, burning away the lies you've believed about yourself. He's speaking with urgency because he sees the weight you've carried, labels, fears, and doubts that have tried to dim your light. Right now, he's calling you to let go of those chains. You're not defined by what others think or what the world says. His words are rewriting your story, declaring that you are chosen, worthy, and destined for a purpose that no one can take away. You've spent too long questioning your place. Maybe you've wondered if you're truly enough, if your dreams are too big, or if your past disqualifies you. But God's voice cuts through that noise. He's saying, I chose you, and my choice is final. His urgency is a reminder that your worth isn't up for debate. It's settled in heaven, sealed by his love. You're not striving to earn his approval, you already have it. This moment is your turning point. God's voice is like a trumpet, sounding the start of a new season. He's not just speaking to comfort you, he's speaking to propel you. The plans he has for you are unfolding now, and they require you to move with courage. You don't need to see the whole picture. His voice is enough to guide your next step, and each step you take in faith unlocks more of his divine blueprint for your life. You've felt the stirrings of something bigger, haven't you? Those moments when your heart races with a vision, a dream, a calling that feels too grand to contain. That's God speaking, urging you to embrace the magnitude of His plan. His voice is bold because your purpose is bold. You're not meant for small things. You're meant to carry His light into places that have never seen it before, to bring hope where there's despair, to bring truth where there's confusion. If you're feeling this fire in your spirit, comment 777 below. Let it be your way of saying, I hear you, God. I'm stepping into your call. And if you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe to join thousands of chosen ones who are walking this journey together. Your action strengthens this message, carrying it to others who need to hear God's voice. His urgency is a wake-up call. God isn't speaking casually. He's speaking with intention, with a divine insistence that now is your time. You've been through seasons of preparation, moments where you thought you were stuck, but you were being shaped. Every delay, every setback, every quiet season was God's hand refining you, making you ready for the doors that are opening now. Think of Joseph, sold into slavery, thrown into prison, forgotten by those he helped. Yet God's voice never left him. Through every trial, God was speaking, guiding, preparing Joseph for a moment when he would rise to save nations. Genesis 41. Your story isn't so different. The challenges you faced weren't meant to break you, they were meant to build you. God's urgency now is His signal that your time of rising is here. You might feel like you're still in the pit, still waiting for your breakthrough. But God's voice is saying, look up. The pit isn't your home, it's your launch pad. His urgency is pulling you out of the shadows into a season where His promises become your reality. You're not waiting for a miracle anymore. The miracle is happening, and it starts with your willingness to hear and act. God's voice is also a shield. The world will try to drown Him out with noise, doubt, criticism, fear. But His words are stronger, louder, truer. When you hold fast to what He's saying, no lie can take root. No attack can shake you. His voice is your defense, reminding you that no weapon formed against you will prosper. Isaiah 54:17. You're not fighting alone. God Himself is your strength. You've probably noticed how the enemy tries to distract you. Maybe it's a sudden wave of doubt, a conflict that feels overwhelming, or a temptation to give up. That's not random. The enemy hears God's urgency too, and he's desperate to stop you. But God's voice is clearer, stronger, more powerful. He's saying, keep going. I've already won this battle for you. Your job is to listen and keep moving forward. Every time you choose to hear God over the noise, you're claiming victory. You're not just surviving the enemy's attacks, you're overcoming them. His voice is your weapon, sharper than any sword, cutting through lies and revealing truth. When you align with what God is saying, you step into a power that nothing can touch. You become a force, unshaken by the chaos around you. Consider Paul and Silas, locked in a prison cell, yet singing praises at midnight. Acts 16:25. God's voice was their strength, turning their chains into a testimony. When they listened, when they trusted, God shook the prison and set them free. His voice is speaking to you in your midnight moments, urging you to praise, to trust, to believe that freedom is coming. You're not just hearing God's voice, you're becoming it. As you listen, as you obey, His words flow through you. Your life becomes a megaphone for His truth. People will see it in the way you carry yourself, in the peace that surrounds you, in the boldness of your steps. You're not just a listener, you're a living message, a testament to what happens when God speaks and His chosen ones respond. This urgency is about timing. God's voice is saying, now, not tomorrow, not next year. Now. The opportunities he's prepared are aligning. The people you're meant to meet, the places you're meant to go, the impact you're meant to have, it's all coming together. His voice is the signal that the season of preparation is giving way to the season of manifestation. You've carried dreams that felt too big, too impossible, but God's voice is saying, I gave you those dreams. They're not fantasies, they're glimpses of your future. His urgency is pushing you to act on them, to stop doubting and start doing. You don't need to know every detail. His voice is enough to guide you, step by step, into the reality he's promised. Look at Noah, building an ark when no one else saw rain. Genesis 6. God's voice was his blueprint, his assurance, his strength. The world mocked him, but he listened. And because he did, he saved his family and changed history. God's urgency in your life is your ark moment, a call to build something others can't yet see, trusting that his voice will lead you through. You're not just chosen, you're commissioned. God's voice isn't just encouraging you, it's empowering you. He's speaking with urgency because he's entrusted you with a mission that matters. Your life isn't random. Your gifts, your experiences, your unique perspective, they're all part of his plan to bring light to a world that desperately needs it. Right now, his voice is stirring your spirit, awakening a boldness you didn't know you had. You might feel it as a restlessness, a sense that you can't stay where you are. That's God, urging you to move, to rise, to step into the fullness of your calling. He's not asking you to be fearless, he's asking you to trust him more than your fear. You've probably had moments where you felt God's presence so strongly it was undeniable. Maybe it was a quiet moment of prayer, a sudden breakthrough, or a peace that came out of nowhere. Those moments are God's voice, reminding you that he's near, that he's working, that he's speaking directly to you. His urgency now is a call to lean into those moments, to let them guide you. This isn't about chasing success or worldly approval. God's voice is calling you to something deeper, a life of purpose, of impact, of eternal significance. His urgency is about aligning your heart with his, so you can walk in the freedom and power he's prepared. You're not here to fit in. You're here to stand out, to shine, to show the world what God can do through a chosen one. His voice is also a promise. He's not just speaking to guide you, he's speaking to assure you. Every word he says is backed by his faithfulness. When he calls you chosen, he means it. When he says your time is now, it's true. His urgency is his way of saying, I'm with you. I've got you. Trust me. You can step forward with confidence, knowing he'll never leave you. You're part of something bigger. God's voice isn't just speaking to you, it's speaking to a generation of chosen ones, rising together to bring his light to a broken world. Your obedience, your faith, your willingness to listen, it's not just for you. It's for the people who will be touched by your story, inspired by your courage, transformed by your example. Think of Deborah, a prophetess and judge who heard God's voice and led a nation to victory. Judges 4. Her courage wasn't just for her, it was for Israel, for the people who needed her to rise. God's urgency in your life is for you, but it's also for those waiting for you to step into your role as a leader, a healer, a light bearer. You don't need to be perfect to answer his call. God's voice is speaking to your potential, to the person you're becoming. He sees the finished work, even when you're still a work in progress. His urgency is an invitation to trust his vision for you, to believe that he's already equipped you for everything he's asking you to do. This moment is sacred. God's voice is alive, moving, transforming. It's not just words, it's power. It's not just a message, it's a mandate. His urgency is your signal to act, to believe, to rise. You're not waiting for permission anymore. His voice is your permission, your strength, your guide. Step into it, chosen one, and watch what he does through you. God's voice is a beacon, piercing through the chaos of the world to reach you exactly where you are. His urgency is like a lighthouse, guiding you through the storms of doubt and uncertainty. You've felt the weight of life's challenges, moments where the path ahead seemed unclear, but his voice is calling you to trust that he's already charted the course. You're not lost. He's leading you, step by step, into a future that shines with his purpose. You've had days where you felt invisible, like your efforts didn't matter. But God's voice says otherwise. He sees every quiet sacrifice, every moment you chose faith over fear. His urgency is a reminder that nothing you've done for him is wasted. Every prayer, every act of kindness, every time you kept going despite the odds, it's all building towards something greater, something only he could design. This is your season of clarity. God's voice is cutting through the fog, showing you who you really are. The world may try to box you in, telling you to play small or stay safe, but he's speaking a different truth. You're chosen to break barriers, to defy limits, to walk in a boldness that shakes the status quo. His urgency is pushing you to see yourself as he does, a force for change, a light in the darkness. Maybe you've felt stuck, like you're circling the same struggles. But God's voice is declaring a shift. He's saying, enough. The cycles of lack, of fear, of frustration, they're breaking now. His urgency is a divine interruption, stopping the old patterns and ushering you into a new rhythm. You're not meant to stay in the same place. His voice is moving you forward, into a space where his promises take root. You've carried burdens that weren't yours to bear. Maybe it's guilt from the past, or expectations from others, or the pressure to be something you're not. God's voice is urgent because he's calling you to lay those burdens down. Matthew 11:28 says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." His words are your freedom, releasing you from what's held you back so you can run toward what's ahead. If you're feeling this truth resonate, comment 777 below. It's your way of saying, God, I'm ready to let go and follow your voice. And if you haven't yet, hit that like button and subscribe to join thousands of chosen ones who are stepping into their divine purpose. Your support sends this message further, touching hearts that need to hear it. God's voice is like a seed planted in your heart, growing into something unstoppable. Every time you listen, every time you trust, that seed takes root deeper. You're not just hearing his words, you're becoming them. Your life is starting to reflect his truth, his power, his love. People around you are noticing, even if they can't put it into words. You're carrying something different, something divine. You've faced moments where you felt alone, like no one understood your journey. But God's voice is saying, I'm with you. His urgency is a reminder that you're never on your own. He's been there through every tear, every doubt, every victory. He's speaking now to reassure you that he's not just watching from a distance. He's walking beside you, guiding you toward a destiny that's yours alone. Think of Daniel in the lion's den. Daniel 6. The world saw only danger, but God's voice was Daniel's shield. He didn't just survive, he walked out untouched, a testimony to God's power. Right now, God's voice is your shield, protecting you from the threats that try to steal your peace. His urgency is calling you to stand firm, knowing he's already delivered you from every danger. You're not just a bystander in your story, you're the lead. God's voice is directing you, giving you the script for a life that glorifies him. Every choice you make, every step you take, is part of a bigger narrative, He's writing. His urgency is pushing you to embrace your role, to stop doubting and start acting. You're not waiting for the spotlight, it's already on you. You've probably had moments where you sensed something greater at work. Maybe it was a gut feeling that led you to the right decision, or a dream that felt too vivid to be random. That's God's voice, speaking in ways that go beyond words. His urgency now is amplifying those moments, making his guidance undeniable. He's saying, "Pay attention. I'm leading you to something extraordinary. Your life is a testimony waiting to be told." God's voice is shaping it, turning your struggles into stories of triumph. Every challenge you've overcome is a chapter in his book of miracles. His urgency is a call to share that story, to let others see what he's done in you. Your journey isn't just for you, it's a light for those still searching for hope. Consider Ruth, who followed God's voice through loss and uncertainty. Ruth 1-4. She didn't know the full plan, but she trusted, and because she did, she became part of a legacy that led to King David and ultimately to Jesus. God's urgency in your life is leading you to a legacy just as powerful. His voice is guiding you to a purpose that will echo beyond your lifetime. You might feel like your path is unclear, like you're walking in the dark. But God's voice is your light. Psalm 119-105 says, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path." His urgency is illuminating your way, showing you where to step, even when the road ahead feels uncertain. You don't need to see the whole journey. Just trust his voice for the next move. You've been gifted with unique talents, passions, ideas. Maybe you've hesitated to use them, thinking they're not enough. But God's voice is saying, "I gave you those gifts for a reason." His urgency is pushing you to act on them, to stop hiding and start creating. Your talents aren't random, they're tools for his kingdom, meant to build something eternal. God's voice is also a challenge. He's not just comforting you, he's daring you to dream bigger, to believe for more, to step into the impossible. His urgency is a call to stretch your faith, to trust him for things that seem out of reach. You're not meant to settle for ordinary. His voice is pulling you toward extraordinary, toward a life that defies limits. You've probably felt moments of restlessness, like something inside you is ready to break free. That's God's voice, stirring your spirit, urging you to rise above the mundane. He's saying, "There's more for you." His urgency is a call to chase that more, to pursue the purpose he's placed in you, to live a life that reflects his glory. Look at Peter, who stepped out of the boat to walk on water. Matthew 14:29. God's voice through Jesus called him to do the impossible. He didn't have all the answers, but he trusted the voice that said, "Come." Right now, God is calling you to step out, to trust his voice over your fears, to walk on the waters of your calling. You're not just hearing God's voice, you're being transformed by it. Every time you listen, you're changed. Your heart grows stronger, your vision clearer, your purpose bolder. His urgency is reshaping you, making you into someone who can carry his power into the world. You're not the same person you were yesterday, and you won't be the same tomorrow. This is your moment to align with his voice completely. God's urgency is a signal that the time for hesitation is over. He's speaking directly to you, calling you to move, to trust, to rise. You're not waiting for a sign anymore. His voice is the sign. Step into it, chosen one, and watch how his words turn your life into a masterpiece of his grace. God's voice is a current, pulling you toward a destiny that's been written in the stars since before time began. His urgency is like a river, moving with purpose, carrying you past obstacles and into the flow of his divine plan. You've felt its pull, haven't you? Those moments when something inside you stirs, urging you to move, to act, to become more than you thought possible. That's him, speaking directly to your soul, calling you to step into the fullness of your calling. You've carried questions, maybe even doubts about where you're headed. The world can make you feel like your path is too uncertain, too risky. But God's voice is your assurance, a steady hand guiding you through the unknown. His urgency is a reminder that he's already gone before you, clearing the way, setting the stage for miracles you can't yet see. You're not wandering, he's leading you to a place of purpose. This is your moment to trust his timing. God's voice isn't rushed, it's precise. He's speaking with urgency because the season you're entering is perfectly aligned with his plan. You've been through seasons of waiting, of wondering when things would change. Now, his voice is declaring that the time is ripe. The seeds you've planted through faith, through perseverance, are about to bloom into something extraordinary. You've faced moments where the world tried to dim your light. Maybe it was criticism, rejection, or simply the weight of expectations. But God's voice is louder, stronger, clearer. He's saying, "You are mine, and no one can steal what I've given you." His urgency is a call to stand tall, to shake off the lies, to walk in the truth of who he created you, to be a chosen one, marked for greatness. If you're feeling his voice resonate in your spirit, comment 777 below. It's your way of saying, "God, I'm all in." And if you haven't yet, hit that like button and subscribe to join thousands of chosen ones walking this divine path together. Your support carries this message to others who need to hear it, amplifying the truth of God's voice. God's voice is a blueprint, mapping out a future that's bigger than your wildest dreams. He's not just speaking to comfort you, he's speaking to construct you. Every word he says is a brick, building a life of purpose, strength, and impact. You're not just hearing him, you're being shaped by him, molded into someone who can carry his glory into the world. You've probably felt moments where you sensed a shift, like the ground beneath you was moving. That's God's voice, rearranging your life, aligning it with his will. His urgency is a signal that things are falling into place. Opportunities, relationships, breakthroughs. What felt like chaos was his hand orchestrating a symphony, and now you're starting to hear the melody. Think of Abraham, called to leave everything familiar for a land he didn't know, Genesis 12:1. God's voice was his only guide, a promise that led him to a legacy that still shapes the world. His urgency in your life is no different. He's calling you to step out, to trust his voice over your comfort, to follow him into a future that will leave a mark for generations. You've carried dreams that feel too big, too impossible. Maybe you've tucked them away, thinking they're out of reach. But God's voice is saying, "I placed those dreams in you." His urgency is a call to dust them off, to believe in them again, to see them as his vision for your life. They're not fantasies, they're prophecies, waiting for you to step into them. Your life is a canvas, and God's voice is the brush. Every word he speaks adds color, depth, beauty. His urgency is painting a masterpiece, turning your ordinary moments into extraordinary testimonies. You're not just living, you're creating with him a story that will inspire others to seek his voice too. You've faced moments where you felt unworthy, like you didn't measure up. But God's voice is rewriting that narrative. He's saying, "You are enough because I am enough." His urgency is a call to embrace your identity as his chosen one, to stop apologizing for who you are and start celebrating the purpose he's placed in you. Consider Gideon, hiding from his enemies, doubting his strength. Judges 6:11, 1-6. God's voice called him a mighty warrior, not because of who he was, but because of who God is. Right now, God's urgency is calling out the warrior in you, the leader, the dreamer, the world changer. His voice is naming you, equipping you, sending you. You've probably noticed how certain people are drawn to you, how your presence shifts the atmosphere. That's not random. God's voice is working through you, making you a beacon of His light. His urgency is a reminder that your influence matters, that your life is a spark that can ignite hope in others. You're not just here for yourself, you're here for them. God's voice is a fire, burning away what doesn't belong. Old habits, limiting beliefs, fears that have held you back. His urgency is consuming them, making room for something new. You're not meant to carry the weight of the past. His voice is calling you to release it, to step into a lightness that comes from trusting Him completely. You've had moments where you felt a nudge, a quiet prompting to act, to speak, to move. That's God's voice, guiding you in real time. His urgency is amplifying those nudges, making them undeniable. He's saying, "Don't ignore me, act now." Every time you follow that prompting, you're stepping closer to the life He's designed for you. Your journey is a testimony, even in its unfinished state. God's voice is weaving a story through your life, one that others will read and find hope in. His urgency is a call to keep going, to trust that every step is part of a bigger picture. You're not just walking a path, you're leaving a trail for others to follow. Look at Mary, the mother of Jesus, chosen for a purpose she couldn't fully grasp. Luke 1:26-3:8. God's voice came to her with urgency, calling her to trust, to say yes, to carry a miracle. His voice is calling you to carry a miracle too, not one you fully understand, but one you can trust. His urgency is your invitation to say yes. You're not just a listener, you're a responder. God's voice isn't meant to sit in your heart. It's meant to move you. His urgency is a call to action, to take the gifts He's given you and use them, your talents, your passion, your unique way of seeing the world. They're all tools for His kingdom, waiting for you to pick them up. You've probably felt moments where the world seemed too heavy, too broken, but God's voice is saying, "I've chosen you to bring healing." His urgency is a call to step into that role, to be a restorer, a builder, a light in the darkness. You're not powerless. His voice is your power, equipping you to make a difference. This is your moment to rise above the noise. God's voice is clearer than the doubts, stronger than the fears, louder than the critics. His urgency is a call to tune everything else out and focus on Him. When you do, you'll find a peace that anchors you, a strength that carries you, a purpose that drives you forward. You're not just chosen, you're sent. God's voice is commissioning you, not just to hear Him, but to act on His behalf. His urgency is a reminder that the world is waiting for you, for the light you carry, for the hope you bring. Step into it, chosen one, and let His voice lead you into a life that changes everything. God's voice is a melody, weaving through the noise of your life, calling you to dance to His rhythm. His urgency is like a song that's been playing softly in the background, now rising to a crescendo, demanding your attention. You've felt its pull, those moments when your heart beats faster, sensing something greater is at work. That's Him speaking directly to you, inviting you to move in step with His divine purpose. You've walked through seasons where you felt out of tune, like your life didn't match the harmony you longed for. Maybe it was a job that drained you, relationships that felt heavy, or a sense of being stuck. But God's voice is retuning your life. His urgency is a call to align with His melody, to let go of discord and embrace the rhythm of His plan. You're not offbeat. He's bringing you back into his song. This is your moment to hear the music clearly. God's voice isn't just words, it's a vibration, a frequency that resonates deep in your soul. His urgency is stirring you to listen, to feel the pulse of his purpose. You're not meant to stay silent or still. His voice is inviting you to sing, to create, to live in a way that echoes his glory and inspires others to find their own tune. You've faced moments where the world tried to drown out your song, doubt, fear, even the opinions of others. They've all tried to mute you. But God's voice is stronger, clearer, more beautiful. His urgency is a reminder that your voice matters, that your life is a note in his eternal symphony. He's calling you to sing out, to let your unique sound shine through the chaos. If you're feeling this melody in your spirit, comment 777 below. It's your way of saying, God, I hear your song, and I'm ready to join in. And if you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe to join thousands of chosen ones who are finding their place in his divine harmony. Your support amplifies this message, reaching others who need to hear it. God's voice is a compass, pointing you toward a destination you were born to reach. His urgency is like a needle steady on true north, guiding you through the wilderness of life. You've had moments where you felt lost, unsure of which way to turn. But his voice is clear, unwavering, showing you the path that leads to purpose, to peace, to a life that reflects his glory. You've carried burdens that made you feel heavy, like you were walking uphill with no end in sight. Maybe it's the weight of past mistakes, or the pressure to prove yourself. God's voice is urgent because he's calling you to drop that weight. He's saying, "My yoke is easy and my burden is light." Matthew 11:30. His urgency is your invitation to walk freely, guided by his direction. This is your season to move with confidence. God's voice is mapping out your steps, showing you where to go, even when the path feels unfamiliar. His urgency is a signal that you don't need to know every turn. Just trust his guidance. You're not stumbling blindly. His voice is your light, illuminating the way forward, one step at a time. You've probably felt moments where you sensed a bigger purpose, like your life was meant for more than the everyday grind. That's God's voice, whispering visions of what's possible. His urgency is pushing you to chase those visions, to stop settling for less than what he's promised. Your dreams aren't too big. They're his blueprint for your future, waiting for you to follow. Your life is a journey, and God's voice is your guide. Every word he speaks is a marker, showing you where to go, what to do, who to become. His urgency is a call to keep moving, to not get stuck in the past or distracted by the present. You're not just wandering, you're on a pilgrimage, headed toward a destiny that's been prepared for you. Think of the Israelites, led by God's voice through a cloud by day and fire by night. Exodus 13:21. They didn't always understand the journey, but they followed. His urgency in your life is your cloud, your fire, leading you through the unknown to a promised land. You don't need to see the whole map, just trust his voice to guide you. You've faced moments where you felt small, like your efforts didn't matter in the grand scheme. But God's voice is saying, you are significant. His urgency is a reminder that your life has weight, that your choices ripple out, touching lives you may never meet. You're not just one person, you're a chosen one, carrying his purpose into the world. God's voice is a spark, igniting something new inside you. His urgency is fanning that spark into a flame, a fire that burns away doubt and fuels your passion. You've had moments where you felt a flicker of purpose, a desire to do more, be more. That's him, urging you to let that fire grow, to let it consume anything that holds you back. You've probably noticed how certain doors seem to open at just the right time, how opportunities appear when you least expect them. That's God's voice, orchestrating your life, aligning moments and people to fulfill His plan. His urgency is a call to walk through those doors, to trust that they're not random, but divinely appointed. Your heart is a garden, and God's voice is the gardener. His urgency is planting new seeds, pulling out weeds, preparing you for a harvest. You've carried dreams that felt dormant, hopes that seemed buried. But His voice is watering them, bringing them to life. You're not barren. His urgency is promising a season of growth, of abundance, of fruitfulness. Consider Nehemiah, who heard God's voice and rebuilt Jerusalem's walls against all odds. Nehemiah 2:17-1:8. His urgency came from a divine call to restore what was broken. God's voice is calling you to rebuild too. Maybe it's a dream, a relationship, or even your own heart. His urgency is your strength, empowering you to build something lasting. You've felt moments where the world seemed too loud, too overwhelming. But God's voice is your quiet place, your refuge. His urgency is a call to come away with Him, to find peace in His presence. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." His voice is urging you to rest in Him, to let His peace anchor you in the storm. You're not just a dreamer, you're a doer. God's voice is calling you to act, to take the gifts He's given you and use them. His urgency is a push to stop waiting for the perfect moment and start now. Your talents, your ideas, your passion, they're not meant to stay hidden. They're meant to shine, to build, to change the world around you. You've probably had moments where you felt a pull to help someone, to speak truth, to show love. That's God's voice, moving through you, using you to touch lives. His urgency is a reminder that your actions matter, that your life is a vessel for His love. You're not just living, you're a conduit for His grace, bringing light to those who need it. This is your moment to embrace His voice fully. God's urgency is a call to stop doubting, to stop hesitating, to start moving. His words are your foundation, your strength, your guide. You're not just hearing Him, you're becoming a reflection of His truth, a living testimony of His power. Step into it, chosen one, and let His voice carry you into a life that shines with His glory. God's voice is a wind sweeping through your life, stirring up dreams and blowing away the dust of complacency. His urgency is like a gust that pushes you forward, urging you to move with purpose, to chase the vision He's placed in your heart. You've felt it, haven't you? Those moments when something inside you shifts, whispering that you're meant for more. That's Him calling you to rise, to run with the wind of His Spirit toward a destiny that's yours alone. You've walked through days where you felt tethered, held back by fear or the weight of routine. Maybe it's been a job that feels like a cage, or doubts that keep you from stepping out. But God's voice is breaking those chains. His urgency is a call to move, to let His wind carry you beyond the limits you've known. You're not meant to stay grounded. His voice is lifting you, setting you free to soar. This is your season to catch the wind. God's voice is moving, alive, dynamic, and His urgency is inviting you to move with it. He's not asking you to stay still or play it safe. He's calling you to run, to let His Spirit propel you into new places, new opportunities, new possibilities. You're not chasing the wind, you're riding it, guided by His voice to a future that shines with His purpose. You've faced moments where the world tried to slow you down, to make you feel small or stuck. But God's voice is stronger, faster, fiercer. His urgency is a reminder that you're not defined by your circumstances. You're defined by His call, by the wind of his Spirit that's moving you forward. No obstacle, no doubt, no delay can stop what he's set in motion. If you're feeling this wind in your spirit, comment 777 below. It's your way of saying, God, I'm ready to move with you. And if you haven't yet, hit that like button and subscribe to join thousands of chosen ones who are running with his purpose. Your support carries this message further, reaching those who need to feel his wind. God's voice is a spark, kindling a fire in your soul that nothing can extinguish. His urgency is fanning that flame, urging you to let it burn brightly. You've had moments where you felt a flicker of passion, a desire to create, to build, to make a difference. That's him, speaking directly to you, calling you to let that fire grow, to let it light up the world around you. You've carried dreams that felt fragile, like they might flicker out under the weight of reality. But God's voice is your fuel. His urgency is saying, don't let those dreams die. He's breathing life into them, turning sparks into flames, turning hopes into realities. You're not meant to hold back. His voice is urging you to let your fire shine, to burn with purpose. This is your moment to blaze. God's voice is igniting something unstoppable inside you. His urgency is a call to stop hiding your light, to stop dimming your passion. You're meant to shine, to warm the hearts around you, to set fire to the plans he's given you. Your life isn't meant to be a flicker, it's meant to be a wildfire, spreading his love and truth. You've probably felt moments where you doubted your own spark, where you wondered if your passion mattered. But God's voice is clear. It does. His urgency is a reminder that your fire is unique, that your gifts are needed. He's saying, burn brightly, because the world needs your light. You're not just a spark, you're a flame, chosen to illuminate the darkness. Your life is a furnace, and God's voice is the heat, refining you into something stronger, purer, more radiant. His urgency is shaping you, burning away what doesn't belong: fear, shame, hesitation. You've faced moments where the refining felt painful, where you questioned why you had to endure the heat, but his voice is saying, I'm making you unbreakable. Think of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, standing in a fiery furnace, untouched by the flames. Daniel 3. God's voice was their shield, their strength, their promise of deliverance. His urgency in your life is no different. He's speaking to protect you, to refine you, to show the world that you can walk through fire and come out stronger. You've probably noticed how certain challenges seem to come just when you're ready to step forward. That's not a coincidence. The enemy sees the fire God's voice is kindling in you, and he's desperate to put it out. But his urgency is your assurance that no flame quencher can succeed. You're not just surviving the heat, you're thriving in it, becoming a testimony of his power. God's voice is a riverbed, channeling his blessings into your life. His urgency is the water, flowing with purpose, filling every dry place in your heart. You've had moments where you felt empty, like your life was a desert, but his voice is bringing life, pouring out abundance, turning barren places into streams of hope and possibility. You've carried moments of dryness, where you wondered if you'd ever see growth again. But God's voice is saying, I'm making all things new. Revelation 21:5. His urgency is a promise that the desert seasons are over. He's filling you with his living water, nourishing your dreams, your faith, your future. You're not meant to stay dry. His voice is flooding your life with purpose. This is your season to overflow. God's voice is moving, unstoppable, filling you to the brim and spilling over into the lives around you. His urgency is a call to share that abundance, to let his blessings flow through you. Your life isn't just a vessel, it's a river. carrying his love, his grace, his hope to a world that's parched. You've faced moments where you felt like you had nothing left to give, but God's voice is your source, an endless spring that never runs dry. His urgency is urging you to trust that you're enough, that his provision is enough. You're not running on empty. His voice is filling you, equipping you to pour out without fear of lack. Your life is a garden, and God's voice is the sunlight, coaxing growth from every seed he's planted in you. His urgency is warming your soul, urging you to bloom where you're planted. You've had moments where you felt hidden, like your growth was stalled, but his voice is saying, now is your time to rise, to flourish, to show the world my beauty in you. Consider Lazarus, called out of the tomb by Jesus' voice. John 11:43. God's urgency brought him from death to life, from darkness to light. His voice is calling you out too, out of every grave, every place of stagnation. His urgency is your resurrection, breathing life into dreams you thought were lost, into hopes you thought were gone. You've probably felt moments where you wondered if your growth mattered, if your life could really make a difference. But God's voice is clear. It does. His urgency is a reminder that every seed he's planted in you, every gift, every dream, every moment of faith is meant to bear fruit. You're not just growing, you're thriving, becoming a garden of his glory. God's voice is a bridge, connecting you to the divine purpose he's prepared. His urgency is urging you to cross it, to leave behind what's familiar and step into what's eternal. You're not meant to stay on one side, clinging to comfort or fear. His voice is calling you to move, to trust, to walk toward the destiny he's designed for you. You've faced moments where the gap between where you are and where you want to be felt too wide. But God's voice is your bridge, spanning that distance, making the impossible possible. His urgency is a call to take the first step, to trust that he's already built the way forward. You're not stuck. His voice is leading you across. God's voice is a spark in the night, illuminating the shadows of your soul with a light that never fades. His urgency is like a star breaking through darkness, guiding you when the world feels too heavy to navigate. You've felt it, those quiet moments when a sudden clarity pierces through your doubts. That's him, speaking directly to you, calling you to follow his light into a purpose that outshines every fear. You've walked through nights that felt endless, where hope seemed distant and answers were hard to find. Maybe it was a season of loss, or a time when you questioned your strength, but God's voice is your dawn, breaking through with urgency to remind you that the night doesn't last forever. His words are calling you to rise, to see the morning he's prepared, to step into a new day of promise. This is your moment to shine. God's voice is kindling a light within you, one that can't be hidden. His urgency is urging you to let it glow, to stop covering it with worry or hesitation. You're not meant to blend into the darkness. His voice is calling you to stand out, to be a beacon for others, to show the world what his light can do through a chosen one. You've faced moments where you felt unseen, like your efforts were lost in the shadows. But God's voice is saying, I see you. His urgency is a reminder that your light matters, that it's meant to pierce the darkness around you. He's calling you to shine boldly, to let your faith, your love, your truth light up places that have forgotten what hope looks like. God's voice is a cornerstone, grounding you in a foundation that nothing can shake. His urgency is like a builder's hammer, securing you to his truth, making you unshakable. You've had moments where life felt unsteady, where the ground beneath you seemed to shift, but his voice is your anchor, holding you firm, reminding you that you're built on his promises, not the world's uncertainties. You've carried weights that tried to pull you down. Maybe it's the pressure to succeed, or the fear of failing those who depend on you. But God's voice is urgent, because He's calling you to rest in His strength. Psalm 18:2 says, "The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer." His words are building you into something solid, something that stands tall no matter the storm. This is your season to stand firm. God's voice is fortifying you, making you a pillar of His truth. His urgency is a call to stop wavering, to stop questioning your place. You're not meant to crumble, you're meant to be a foundation, a testimony of His faithfulness that others can lean on. His voice is making you stronger than you ever thought possible. You've probably felt moments where you doubted your own stability, where you wondered if you could withstand life's pressures. But God's voice is clear. You can. His urgency is a reminder that He's not just with you, He's in you, giving you the strength to endure, to thrive, to become a cornerstone for His kingdom. You're not fragile, His voice is making you unbreakable. God's voice is a tapestry, weaving your life into a story of divine purpose. His urgency is the thread, pulling together every moment, every choice, every trial into a masterpiece. You've had days where life felt scattered, like the pieces didn't fit, but His voice is saying, "I'm making it beautiful." His urgency is weaving your story into something that will leave others in awe of His work. You've faced moments where you felt like your life lacked meaning, like the struggles outweighed the victories. But God's voice is urgent because He's showing you the bigger picture. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, "He has made everything beautiful in its time." His words are threading together your past, present, and future into a tapestry that tells a story of redemption, hope, and glory. This is your moment to see the pattern. God's voice is revealing how every moment of your life fits together, how every challenge was a thread, every joy a stitch. His urgency is calling you to trust the process, to believe that He's crafting something extraordinary. You're not a random collection of moments, you're a work of art, designed by His hand. You've probably noticed how certain events in your life seem connected, how one moment led to another in ways you couldn't have planned. That's God's voice, weaving His purpose through your story. His urgency is a call to embrace the beauty of His design, to stop fighting the process and start trusting the artist. Your life is becoming a masterpiece, and His voice is the thread that holds it together. God's voice is a trumpet, sounding a call to battle, not against flesh and blood, but against the lies that try to hold you back. His urgency is like a war cry, rallying you to fight for your purpose, your peace, your destiny. You've felt the resistance, those moments when doubt or fear tried to silence you. But His voice is louder, urging you to stand and fight with the strength He's given you. You've faced enemies you couldn't see, self-doubt, comparison, the weight of others' expectations. But God's voice is your battle plan, equipping you to overcome. Ephesians 6:12 says, "Our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the powers of this dark world." His urgency is calling you to arm yourself with His truth, to fight with faith, to claim the victory He's already won. This is your season to conquer. God's voice is rallying you, filling you with courage to face every challenge. His urgency is a reminder that you're not fighting alone. He's your commander, your strength, your shield. You're not meant to retreat, you're meant to advance, to take ground, to show the world what a chosen one can do when they follow His voice. You've probably felt moments where the battle seemed too big, where you wondered if you had the strength to keep going. But God's voice is clear. You do. His urgency is a call to rise above the fight, to see yourself as He does, a warrior, a victor, a chosen one destined to overcome. You're not losing. His voice is leading you to triumph. God's voice is a compass, turning your heart toward the true north of His will. His urgency is like a magnet, pulling you away from distractions and toward his purpose. You've had moments where you felt pulled in every direction, unsure of where to focus, but his voice is centering you, guiding you back to what matters most, showing you the path he's prepared. You've carried desires that felt scattered, like you were chasing too many things at once. But God's voice is bringing clarity, aligning your heart with his plan. His urgency is a call to focus, to let go of what's not meant for you and embrace what is. You're not lost. His voice is pointing you toward a destination that's been yours all along. This is your moment to follow the compass. God's voice is directing you, showing you where to go, what to do, who to become. His urgency is urging you to trust his direction, to stop second-guessing and start moving. You're not wandering aimlessly. His voice is leading you to a purpose that will change everything. You've probably felt moments where you sensed a pull towards something greater, a calling that felt both exciting and daunting. That's God's voice, guiding you with precision. His urgency is a reminder that you're on the right path, that every step you take in faith brings you closer to the life he's promised. You're not off course. His voice is your guide, and he's leading you home. God's voice is a current of electricity, charging your spirit with a surge of divine energy. His urgency is like a spark that ignites your soul, awakening a power you've always carried but may not have fully embraced. You've felt it, those moments when a sudden rush of inspiration hits, urging you to act, to create, to step into something bigger. That's him, speaking directly to you, electrifying your purpose with his unstoppable force. You've walked through days where you felt drained, like the weight of life sapped your strength. Maybe it was endless responsibilities or moments of self-doubt that dimmed your spark. But God's voice is your power source, recharging you with his energy. His urgency is a call to plug into his strength, to let his current flow through you, lighting up every part of your life with his purpose. This is your moment to surge forward. God's voice is electrifying your path, illuminating possibilities you hadn't seen before. His urgency is urging you to move with boldness, to stop holding back and let his energy propel you. You're not meant to flicker, you're meant to blaze, to shine with a power that comes from his spirit, transforming everything around you. You've faced moments where the world tried to short-circuit your dreams, where obstacles seemed to cut off your power. But God's voice is stronger, more resilient, more enduring. His urgency is a reminder that no force can disconnect you from his plan. You're wired for greatness, chosen to carry his light into places that need it most. God's voice is a river of ink, writing a story across your life that only he could author. His urgency is the pen, scripting every chapter with purpose and precision. You've had moments where you felt like your story was stalled, like the pages were blank or torn, but his voice is filling them, writing a narrative of triumph, redemption, and divine destiny that will leave others in awe. You've carried chapters of pain, moments where you wondered if your story had meaning, but God's voice is saying, every word matters. His urgency is weaving your past into a plot that points to his glory. You're not a rough draft. His voice is crafting you into a masterpiece, a story that will inspire others to seek him. This is your season to embrace the narrative. God's voice is writing new chapters, turning your struggles into turning points, your losses into lessons. His urgency is a call to trust the author, to believe that every twist and turn is leading to a climax of his design. You're not just living a story, you're becoming a testament to his faithfulness. You've probably noticed moments where your life feels like it's part of something bigger, like events align in ways you can't explain. That's God's voice, scripting connections, moments, and opportunities that fit perfectly into his plot. His urgency is urging you to keep reading, to keep turning the pages, to trust that the next chapter is where his promises come alive. God's voice is a pulse, beating with the rhythm of your divine purpose. His urgency is the heartbeat, steady and strong, reminding you that you're alive for a reason. You've felt it. Those moments when your heart races with a sense of calling, a knowing that you're meant for more. That's him, pulsing through you, urging you to live fully in his plan. You've faced days where you felt numb, like life's monotony dulled your sense of purpose. But God's voice is reviving you, restoring the rhythm of your calling. His urgency is a call to feel the pulse again, to let his heartbeat drive your steps. You're not meant to flatline. His voice is breathing life into every moment, making you vibrant with his purpose. This is your moment to sync with his rhythm. God's voice is setting the tempo, urging you to move in time with his plan. His urgency is a call to stop hesitating, to stop missing the beat. You're meant to live with passion, with purpose, with a pulse that echoes his love and power. Let his voice set your pace, and watch how your life moves in harmony with his will. You've probably felt moments where you sensed a deeper rhythm, a connection to something eternal. That's God's voice, aligning your heartbeat with his. His urgency is a reminder that you're not just existing, you're alive with a purpose that resonates beyond this world. You're not out of step. His voice is guiding you into a dance of divine destiny. God's voice is a lighthouse, cutting through the fog of life's uncertainties with a beam of unshakable truth. His urgency is the light, calling you to safe harbor when the waves of doubt crash around you. You've had moments where you felt lost at sea, unsure if you'd find solid ground, but his voice is guiding you, showing you the way to a place of peace and purpose. You've carried the weight of storms, moments where fear or confusion threatened to pull you under. But God's voice is your beacon, shining through the chaos. His urgency is a call to fix your eyes on him, to trust his light over the waves. You're not meant to drown. His voice is leading you to a shore where his promises stand firm. This is your season to follow the light. God's voice is illuminating your path, showing you where to step even when the waters feel deep. His urgency is urging you to keep moving, to trust that he's guiding you to safety. You're not lost at sea. His voice is your lighthouse, bringing you home to his purpose. You've probably noticed moments where a sudden clarity broke through, like a light piercing the fog. That's God's voice, showing you the way when you couldn't see it yourself. His urgency is a call to trust those moments, to follow his light without hesitation. You're not adrift. His voice is your guide, leading you to a future that shines with his glory. God's voice is a seed, planted deep in your spirit, ready to break through the soil of your life. His urgency is the sunlight, urging it to grow, to push through the dirt and bloom. You've had moments where you felt buried, like your dreams were stuck beneath the surface. But his voice is calling them forth, promising a harvest that will amaze you. You've faced seasons of waiting, where growth seemed impossible, where the ground felt hard and unyielding. But God's voice is saying, it's time. His urgency is watering that seed, breaking up the soil, making way for new life. You're not stuck. His voice is bringing your dreams to the surface, ready to flourish in his light. This is your moment to bloom. God's voice is nurturing your potential, urging you to push through the dirt of doubt and fear. His urgency is a call to grow, to stretch toward his light, to become the vibrant, fruitful creation he designed. You're not meant to stay buried. His voice is calling you to rise, to bear fruit that lasts. You've probably felt moments where a dream stirred, where a spark of hope pushed through the surface. That's God's voice, coaxing your potential into reality. His urgency is a reminder that your growth is His plan, that every seed He's planted in you is meant to bloom. You're not dormant. His voice is your sunlight, urging you to thrive in His purpose. God's voice is a flame, kindling a vision in your heart that burns with divine purpose. His urgency is like a wildfire, spreading through your soul, igniting dreams you've long held close. You've felt it. Those moments when a spark of inspiration flares, pushing you to see beyond the ordinary. That's Him, speaking directly to you, calling you to embrace a vision that sets your life ablaze with His glory. You've walked through seasons where your dreams felt like embers, barely glowing under the weight of life's demands. Maybe it was a lack of time, resources, or belief that dimmed them. But God's voice is fanning those embers into flames. His urgency is a call to stop letting your vision smolder, to let it burn brightly. You're not meant to hold back. His voice is urging you to let your dreams light up the world. This is your moment to blaze with purpose. God's voice is fueling your vision, giving it life, making it unstoppable. His urgency is pushing you to act on what He's shown you, to stop waiting for permission and start building what He's promised. You're not meant to dream small. His voice is calling you to a vision that transforms lives, starting with your own. You've faced moments where doubt tried to douse your fire, where the world told you your dreams were too big. But God's voice is stronger, fiercer, hotter. His urgency is a reminder that your vision isn't a fantasy, it's a divine blueprint, crafted by His hand. You're not chasing illusions. His voice is igniting a reality that will shine for His glory. God's voice is a river, carving a path through the hardest places in your life. His urgency is the current, pushing through obstacles, shaping you into someone unstoppable. You've felt it. Those moments when a quiet strength rises within you, urging you to keep going despite the odds. That's Him, flowing through you, clearing the way for a purpose that nothing can block. You've carried burdens that felt like boulders, blocking your path, slowing your progress. Maybe it's been fear of failure or the weight of others' expectations, but God's voice is cutting through them, eroding what doesn't belong. His urgency is a call to trust the flow, to let His power move you past what's held you back. You're not stuck. His voice is making a way. This is your season to flow with His purpose. God's voice is guiding you, shaping your path with precision. His urgency is urging you to move with the current, to stop resisting and let His plan carry you. You're not meant to fight the river. His voice is inviting you to surrender to its flow, trusting it will lead you to abundance. You've probably noticed moments where barriers fell away, where solutions appeared just when you needed them. That's God's voice, carving a path where there seemed to be none. His urgency is a reminder that no obstacle is too big for Him, that every challenge is being shaped into a testimony. You're not blocked. His voice is your river, leading you to open waters. God's voice is a mirror, reflecting the truth of who you are in His eyes. His urgency is the clarity, showing you a reflection that's stronger, braver, more radiant than you've believed. You've had moments where you couldn't see yourself clearly, where insecurity clouded your view. But His voice is wiping the mirror clean, urging you to see the chosen one He's created. You've carried distorted images of yourself, shaped by criticism, comparison, or past mistakes. But God's voice is saying, look again. His urgency is calling you to see the truth. His truth that you're fearfully and wonderfully made. Psalm 139:14. You're not meant to live in distortion. His voice is revealing the masterpiece you've always been. This is your moment to embrace your reflection. God's voice is showing you who you are, not who the world says you are. His urgency is urging you to stop hiding, to stop doubting, to step into the truth of your identity. You're not meant to shrink. His voice is calling you to stand tall, reflecting His glory to the world. You've probably felt moments where you caught a glimpse of your true self, a spark of confidence that felt divine. That's God's voice, holding up the mirror, showing you His design. His urgency is a call to trust that reflection, to believe in the person He sees. You're not flawed. His voice is revealing a truth that sets you free. God's voice is a drumbeat, setting the rhythm for a battle you're destined to win. His urgency is the cadence, calling you to march with courage against every enemy of your soul. You've felt it, those moments when a fire rises within you, urging you to fight for what's right. That's Him rallying you, equipping you for a victory that's already yours. You've faced battles that felt overwhelming, where fear or doubt seemed like giants. But God's voice is your war cry, stronger than any enemy. His urgency is a reminder that you're not fighting alone. He's your strength, your strategy, your shield. You're not meant to retreat. His voice is calling you to advance, to claim the ground He's given you. This is your season to march forward. God's voice is setting the pace, urging you to move with purpose, to fight with faith. His urgency is a call to stop cowering, to stop hesitating, to step into the battle with the assurance of His victory. You're not meant to lose. His voice is leading you to triumph, making you a warrior for His kingdom. You've probably noticed moments where you felt a surge of courage, a strength that wasn't your own. That's God's voice, beating the drum, calling you to stand firm. His urgency is a reminder that you're equipped for every fight, that no giant can stand against His power in you. You're not weak. His voice is your strength, rallying you to victory. God's voice is a mosaic, piecing together every fragment of your life into a work of art. His urgency is the artist's hand, placing each piece with care, creating something beautiful from what seemed broken. You've had moments where your life felt shattered, like the pieces didn't fit, but His voice is saying, I'm making it whole. You're not broken. His urgency is crafting you into a masterpiece. You've carried fragments of pain, moments where loss or failure left you feeling incomplete. But God's voice is gathering those pieces, turning them into something stunning. His urgency is a call to trust His artistry, to believe that every moment has a purpose. You're not a mess. His voice is shaping you into a mosaic that tells a story of redemption. This is your moment to see the beauty. God's voice is arranging your life, showing you how every piece fits. His urgency is urging you to stop focusing on the fragments and start seeing the whole picture. You're meant to shine, to display His glory through the unique pattern of your life. His voice is your guide, turning brokenness into brilliance. You've probably felt moments where a piece of your story suddenly made sense, where a past struggle revealed its purpose. That's God's voice, placing the tiles, showing you His design. His urgency is a call to trust the process, to believe that every fragment is part of His plan. You're not incomplete. His voice is making you a work of art, radiant with His purpose. God's voice is a compass needle, trembling with divine precision, pointing you toward a purpose that's been etched in eternity. His urgency is like a magnetic pull, aligning your heart with His will, guiding you through the noise of the world. You felt it. Those moments when a quiet certainty settles in, urging you to move in a specific direction. That's Him speaking directly to you, calling you to follow His lead into a destiny that's uniquely yours. You've walked through seasons where you felt directionless, like the path ahead was hidden in fog. Maybe it was uncertainty about your future, or choices that left you second-guessing. But God's voice is your true north, cutting through the haze. His urgency is a call to trust his guidance, to stop wandering and start walking with confidence. You're not lost. His voice is pointing you to a purpose that's unshakable. This is your moment to align with his direction. God's voice is setting your course, urging you to move with intention. His urgency is a reminder that you don't need to know every step. Just follow his lead. You're meant to walk with purpose, to let his compass guide you through every twist and turn. His voice is your map, leading you to a future that shines with his glory. You've faced moments where the world tried to pull you off course, where distractions or doubts steered you away. But God's voice is stronger, steadier, more certain. His urgency is a call to fix your eyes on him, to ignore the noise and follow his signal. You're not meant to drift. His voice is anchoring you, guiding you to a destination that's been prepared for you. God's voice is a symphony, blending every note of your life into a melody of divine purpose. His urgency is the conductor, bringing every moment into harmony. You've felt it, those times when life's chaos seemed to fall into place, like a song coming together. That's him, orchestrating your story, calling you to play your part in his masterpiece. You've carried moments of discord, where life felt out of tune, where struggles clashed with your hopes. But God's voice is bringing harmony, smoothing the rough edges. His urgency is a call to trust the conductor, to believe that every note, every joy, every pain has a purpose. You're not meant to live in chaos. His voice is creating a symphony that resonates with his love. This is your season to join the music. God's voice is weaving your life into a melody that others will hear and be moved by. His urgency is urging you to play your part, to stop silencing your gifts and let them ring out. You're meant to be a note in his song, a sound that carries his hope to a world that's lost its tune. You've probably noticed moments where your life felt like it was part of a bigger composition, where your actions inspired others in ways you didn't expect. That's God's voice, directing the symphony, using your life to create something beautiful. His urgency is a call to keep playing, to trust that your notes matter. You're not off-key. His voice is tuning you to his perfect pitch. God's voice is a seedbed, nurturing the dreams he's planted in your heart. His urgency is the rain, softening the ground, urging those dreams to grow. You've felt it, those moments when a vision stirs, when a hope you thought was buried begins to sprout. That's him, speaking life into your dreams, calling you to tend them with faith. You've faced seasons where your dreams felt dormant, like the soil of your heart was too hard to bear fruit. But God's voice is breaking up that ground, making it fertile. His urgency is a call to stop neglecting your dreams, to water them with trust. You're not barren. His voice is promising a harvest, a season where your dreams bloom in his light. This is your moment to cultivate growth. God's voice is nourishing your potential, urging you to care for the seeds he's sown. His urgency is a call to stop doubting and start tending, to believe that your dreams are meant to flourish. You're meant to bear fruit, to show the world the beauty of what grows when you trust his voice. You've probably felt moments where a dream began to take root, where a small step of faith led to unexpected growth. That's God's voice, bringing life to what seemed impossible. His urgency is a reminder that your dreams are his vision, that every seed he's planted is meant to grow. You're not fruitless. His voice is your rain, urging you to bloom. God's voice is a forge, shaping you through the heat of trials into something unbreakable. His urgency is the hammer, striking with purpose to mold you into his design. You felt it, those moments when challenges refined you, when pain revealed your strength. That's him, forging you into a vessel for his glory, calling you to embrace the process. You've carried the heat of hardship, moments where life's fires felt too intense. But God's voice is your strength, guiding you through the flames. His urgency is a call to trust the Forge Master, to believe that every strike is shaping you for greatness. You're not meant to break. His voice is making you stronger, ready for His purpose. This is your season to be refined. God's voice is shaping you, urging you to let the fire do its work. His urgency is a call to stop resisting the process, to trust that the heat is creating something new. You're meant to emerge stronger, shining with a strength that only His voice can forge. You've probably noticed moments where a trial left you stronger, where you discovered resilience you didn't know you had. That's God's voice, hammering away what doesn't belong, shaping you into His design. His urgency is a reminder that every challenge is a step toward becoming who He created you to be. You're not brittle. His voice is forging you into something unbreakable. God's voice is a lighthouse beam, cutting through the storms of life with unwavering clarity. His urgency is the signal, guiding you to safe harbor when the waves crash around you. You've felt it, those moments when peace settled in despite the chaos. That's Him, shining through the tempest, calling you to trust His light over the storm. You've faced tempests that threatened to overwhelm you, where fear or uncertainty loomed large. But God's voice is your beacon, steady and sure. His urgency is a call to fix your eyes on Him, to follow His light through the waves. You're not meant to sink. His voice is guiding you to a place of peace, where His promises hold firm. This is your moment to follow the beam. God's voice is illuminating your path, urging you to trust His guidance. His urgency is a call to keep moving, to believe that He's leading you to safety. You're meant to find harbor, to rest in His presence, to let His light guide you through every storm. You've probably felt moments where a sudden peace broke through, like a lighthouse in the dark. That's God's voice, showing you the way when the storm rages. His urgency is a reminder that no wave is too high, no storm too fierce. You're not lost. His voice is your light, leading you to a future where His peace reigns.